as published in the Casper Star Tribune on August 16, 2019.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hopkins, seconded by Councilman Pacheco. Any amendments to those minutes? Oh, did I miss it? Sorry, Vice Mayor Johnson seconded that one. Please cast your vote, and please record the vote.
With Councilman Cathy abstaining, motion passed.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the minutes of the August 5th, 2019 executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Friel, seconded by Councilman Huber. Any amendments to those minutes? Please cast your vote, and please record the vote.
With Councilman Cathy abstaining, motion passed.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the minutes of the August 6, 2019 regular council meeting as published in the Casper Star Tribune on August 17, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Johnson, seconded by Councilman Friel. Any amendments to those minutes? Please cast your vote, and please record the vote.
All members voting aye, motion passed.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the minutes of the August 16, 2019 executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Pacheco, seconded by Councilman
Your
Bates. Excuse me.
I think that.
Did I skip something?
No, you just had that as August 16th, and it's August 6th.
Oh, excuse me. Did I say 16? Excuse me. August 6th,
August 6th.
Executive.
2019 executive session.
Oh, I skipped a page.
Are we all okay? Okay. And the motion was made and seconded. Any amendments? Please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
All members voting aye, motion passed.
One more of these. The chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the minutes of the August 13, 2019 special council meeting as published in the Casper Star Tribune on August 18, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Hopkins, seconded by Councilman Cathy. Any amendments to those minutes? If not, please cast your vote, and please record the vote.
With Council members Johnson and Pacheco abstaining, motion passed.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the August 20, 2019 bills and claims as audited by City Manager Napier.
So moved.
Your Honor, I think we missed the executive session for.
Did I miss a page?
13th.
One more.
Executive session.
Okay. Go back up. The chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the minutes of the August 13, 2019 special council meeting as published in the Casper Star Tribune August 18, 2019. Is that correct?
Second.
Fleur seems to be uncertain.
It should be.
Your Honor. It should be the executive session, not the special council.
Page 7.
Well, I'm not having a rough go here tonight.
You said it right the first time you said it, Mr. Mayor, but the second time you said it.
What have we taken care of here, Crystal?
Well, I heard the first, and I heard Huber and Bates as 13th for executive, but I didn't catch that the two had said something different, so.
Okay. All
We
right, so-
voted on the special council meeting. Now we need to vote on the executive session for the
Okay.
13th.
Right. Okay. I thought that's where I was.
Yeah, you said
Okay.
executive session, but then you reset it and you said special.
And I had Huber motioned and then Councilman Bates second.
So we were where we needed to be. Okay, let's just make sure we're on track. Okay, so any amendments to the executive session minutes of August 13? There be none, please cast your votes, and please record the vote.
With Council members Johnson and Pacheco abstaining, motion passed.
Okay. Okay, we're all good with our minutes? Good. The chair would entertain a motion to approve by minute action the August 20, 2019 bills and claims as audited by City Manager. I believe Councilman Huber made that motion, and who seconded?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Pacheco. Any abstentions to the bills and claims? Please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
Your Honor.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Okay, now is the time we invite anyone in the audience who wishes to speak to council to please come forward. As stated on the first page of the agenda, we ask the following. Please give your name and address. Please direct your questions and comments to me. No personal attacks, and please keep your comments limited to 5 minutes. Good evening, sir.
Mayor, good to see you again. And the final one. This is it, because I'm out of here September 1st. Got to go to North Fork, North Dakota, then Delaware. But I just got back from California. Just hit the California coast with the ocean liners. You'll see it on the paperwork there. Containers.
We get your name and address for the record, please?
Craig Sheets. It's, my address is the road, pretty much, Mayor, if that'll work.
Okay.
So anyways, just got back from California and really concerned about our oceans. And I hope Wyoming continues to get snow and looks green forever, because without rain or snow, you will not be green. You won't have cattle. You won't have horses. You won't have farms. Water's the number one thing. So in this paperwork, you'll find the same stuff I keep talking about. I know I'm a broken record, folks, but this is what I got to do. There's containers removable. You got hot shot trains coming through here. They park that train here. There's a nuclear device in one of those containers, and we're done. You're done. And as well, I think they're planning to nuke the ocean, and they've got a lot of cameras going in Orange County, LA, and that proves to me that they're underground, and they've got food supply underground and going to watch us fry, and I'm not happy with this. So I'm bringing it up here in Casper because I like Wyoming's Green Hills and that river trail. Mayor, did I say that? I did. It's a fantastic ride. Have you tried it?
Have?
Yeah, you look young already anyways. You're probably 80 and going, you'll be 100. As far as the officers in blue, I'm going to start bringing up the gun. I think they are the females' slaves. I think there's a little secret going on with the woman running the man. And where I come from, that does not happen. And the gun is a force to the men in blue, like Chief up there. And so that's not happening tonight, but it's coming up. As well, schools. I told you I'd bring the blood chart. It's in there. If they pull blood, I already been speaking to the FBI, and it's burgundy color. It's embalming fluid. And you know what embalming fluid is? It's what they put in the dead. So I don't know if that Walking Dead stuff on HBO is real or not, but, you know, a little concern out of there. And as far as anything else goes, schoolyards is where we start with the blood work. I hope, you know, nip it in the bud. And it's been a pleasure talking to you people. And hopefully I can get these nuclear containers cleaned out. That would be a good thing. Under ordinance, because ordinance is only two things: poisons and projectile weapons. Gun is a projectile, crossbow is a projectile, never supposed to point it at another human being or any other being. As far as explosives goes, there's explode, implode, that as well as a projectile. That follows under ordinance. And then you got your code, which is under the state, which is a lot of money of extortion, and I'll get to that later on down the road. But you guys have been great to me, and I appreciate it.
Well, Mr. Sheets, take care of yourself and good luck with your travels.
And let's hope I just get those containers done. That's my main event, pretty much.
Thank you for participating.
You're welcome. You guys all have a great, great evening.
Okay. Take care. Is anyone else here to speak this evening? I think it's your turn, Mr. Harrison. Good evening.
Mileage, Harrison, 742 North Jefferson, I believe. I would like to thank the council the last voting that they did on getting our monies back off the insurance. Wyoming Central Abate is very appreciative of it. And hopefully in the past we can somehow get around the red tape stuff and get back to being people amongst each and every. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Harrison? Thank you, sir. Anyone else here to speak this evening? Okay, let's move forward then. Please read the consent agenda titles.
Establishing September 3rd, 2019 as a public hearing date for consideration of the following two items: the vacation and replat creating Johnny J's addition, as well as a demolition report and levying a lien against 1129 East C Street. Also establishing September 17th, 2019 as the public hearing date for consideration of the following two items: the annexation compliance for the Green River Valley Mobile Home Park and the sale, terms of sale, and transfer of ownership of the former Plains Furniture property.
Chair would entertain a motion to, by minute action, establish the public hearing dates just read.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Pacheco, seconded by Councilman Huber. Any abstentions or nay votes? Please cast your vote.
Nay to number 2B.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nay to, did you get that, Crystal?
With a nay vote on item 2B of Councilmember Mates noted, motion passed.
I now declare the public hearing open for the consideration of the annexation and zoning of the Green Valley Mobile Home Park. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 4 exhibits. Exhibit number 1, correspondence from Liz Becker to J. Carter Napier dated August 6, 2019. Exhibit number 2, affidavit of publication, is published in the Casper Star Tribune dated July 29, 2019. Exhibit number 3, affidavit of publication, is published in the Casper Star Tribune dated August 2, 2019. And Exhibit 4, Green Valley Mobile Home Addition Annexation Report dated July 2019.
Thank you, Mr. Acting City Manager. By the way, I should clarify, Mr. Napier is not here this evening because he's celebrating his 25th anniversary. So we thought that was a good enough reason to miss a council meeting. So, Mr. Pidlick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. For your consideration this evening is the first reading of an ordinance approving the annexation of the Green Valley Mobile Village Home Community, which is located at 2760 South Robinson Road, and the zoning of the property as R6. The mobile home community encompasses approximately 14 acres and is surrounded on all 4 sides by properties currently located within the city of Casper. City staff held a neighborhood meeting on August 5th to take public input and address any questions that the residents of the area may have. Only one resident attended to ask questions. Staff recommends moving forward with this annexation.
Okay, thank you. Council will now listen to public comment, and public comments are again limited to 5 minutes. At this time, I would ask those individuals who wish to speak in favor of the issues involving the annexation and zoning to please approach the lectern. Is anyone here to speak in favor of this annexation? If there is no one here to speak in favor, I would now ask those who wish to speak in opposition to the issues involving the annexation and zoning of the Green Valley Mobile Home Park to please approach the lectern. There being no one to speak for or against this matter, I now declare the public hearing closed. Please read the ordinance by title only.
An ordinance approving the city city-initiated annexation of the Green Valley Mobile Home Park comprising 14 acres, more or less, located at 2760 South Robertson Road.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve on first reading the ordinance just read.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Hopkins, seconded by Councilman Friel. Discussion. Okay. No comments? Any amendments? Please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With council members voting aye, motion passed.
I now declare the public hearing open for the consideration of the fiscal year 2020 budget amendment. Mr. City Attorney, do you have exhibits?
Thank you, Your Honor. We have two exhibits. Exhibit number 1, correspondence from Tom Pitlick to J. Carter Napier, dated August 14, 2019. And exhibit number 2, affidavit of publication, is published in the Casper Star Tribune, dated August 8, 2019.
Thank you, Mr. Acting City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the first budget amendment to the originally adopted budget for fiscal 20. And the primary component of this amendment is approximately $19 million carryover request. And what this entails are projects that had been previously approved and previously budgeted in fiscal 19, but for various reasons were not completed or started. So this is a request to carry over that expenditure authorization into the fiscal 20 budget. There is another component of approximately $1 million that is referred to as funds to supplement the approved budget. And the two primary components of that is to carry over about $375,000 for the Platte River Trails Trust. That amount was approved in a resolution that council passed as far as the allocation of the 1% 16 funds. It just never made it into the budget. And then there's another portion of about $420,000 that will come from 1% funds that will cover projects that, that were previously budgeted in prior years, not in fiscal 19, but in prior years, but for various reasons were not completed, and now we need the expenditure authority to complete those. So the total of the budget amendment is fairly large. It's about $20 million, but again, the impact to the funds is minimal because these funds had already been allocated and just not spent.
Okay, thank you. Council will now listen to public comment. Again, public hearing comments are limited to 5 minutes. At this time, I would ask those individuals who wish to speak in favor of the budget amendment to please approach the lectern. Is anyone here to speak in favor? If there is no one here to speak in favor, I would now ask those who wish to speak in opposition to the budget amendment to please approach the lectern. Is anyone here to speak in opposition? There being no one to speak for or against the budget amendment, I now declare the public hearing closed. The chair would entertain a motion to, by resolution, authorize the fiscal year 2020 budget amendment.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Bates, seconded by Councilman Huber. Any discussion? Mr. Picklick, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the reservoir renovation that is the largest item in this budget amendment, since people may have some questions of what that is, what that entails. Or could we?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I'd defer to
Thank you.
our city
Mr. Beamer?
engineer, Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Beamer. Just for the edification of the public, since this is a big figure, to kind of explain why this is included in the budget amendment.
Your Honor, Council, this was included in the previous fiscal year. We are now in the midst of a water study, water update master plan. But the money you see was reserved to replace the roof and the liner and do some structural repairs for the 10 million gallon reservoir, which is by far our largest stored water capacity in our system. But we're now rethinking perhaps we can get away with a smaller tank perhaps, or even a smaller underground storage reservoir. But it's going to depend on the results of this master plan update that we're currently proceeding with.
because a lot of us, myself included, weren't aware that that's where most of our water is being stored, is in an underground tank right above the golf course.
Or right below the golf course, yeah, it was right,
Or below, that's right, excuse me, below, yeah.
right above the YMCA.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Beamer about that? Thank you. Okay. Any further discussion? Any amendments? Please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Council will now discuss the ordinance for the zone change of 442 North Lennox Street. This item will be open for public comment and for discussion by council. Please read the ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance approving a zone change for 442 North Lennox Street.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve on second reading the ordinance just read.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Cathy, seconded by Councilman Bates. Council will now listen to public comment. Is anyone here to speak on this matter this evening? Any discussion amongst council regarding this zoning change? No amendments? If not, please cast your vote and please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Council will now discuss the ordinance for the zone change of 1014 Glenarm Street. This item will also be open for public comment and for discussion by council. Please read the ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance approving a zone change at 1014 Glenarm Street.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve on second reading the ordinance just read.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Johnson, seconded by Councilwoman Lutz. Council will now listen to public comment. Is anyone here to speak on the zone change for 1014 Glenarm Street? Any discussion amongst council or amendments on this matter? If not, please cast your vote and please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Council will now discuss the ordinance amendments to Chapter 8.04 regarding businesses that affect public health. This item will be open for public comment and for discussion by council. Please read the ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance amending Chapter 8.04.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve on second reading the ordinance just read.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Pacheco, seconded by Councilman Bates. Council will now listen to public comment. Is anyone here to speak on the amendments to Chapter 8.04? Any discussion amongst council? Councilwoman Lutz.
I'm not exactly sure who we need to direct the question to, but I know that we have, on here, we've included supervision and care of children, facilities that are providing those services, but then we crossed out or the aged. And I just think that, I mean, both of those types of facilities have equal health concerns. And so I just, maybe, I don't know whom could give us an explanation as to why those would be crossed out, but daycares would be left in.
Mr. Henley, so this is basically line up with state statute, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. The child care is in fact monitored and inspected by the local health department, whereas the nursing homes and assisted living facilities are inspected by a division out of the Cheyenne. And so I think that's the distinction there.
They're still being inspected, it's just who's doing the inspection.
Correct.
Does that answer your question, Councilwoman?
Yes, thank you.
Any other discussion on this matter? Amendments? Please cast your vote and please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Please read the consent resolutions by title only.
Item 14A1, a revocable license with Jeff McDonald for maintenance of a deck. Item 14A2, procurement agreement for the ultraviolet disinfection system with DC Frost Associates, Inc. Item 14A3, the amendment number 1 to the procurement agreement for the UV disinfection system with DC Frost Associates, Inc. Item 14A4, contract with Golder Associates, Inc. for preparation of an amendment to the Casper Regional Landfill Lifetime Permit application. Item 14A5, outside city water service with Stephen W. Hansen. Item 14A6, an agreement and change order number 1 with Shamrock Environmental for the North Platte River restoration. Item 14A7, the City of Casper employee contributions to the Wyoming retirement system will be contributed as untaxed contributions. Item 14A8, outside city water service with CE Swinney LLC. Item 14A9, acceptance of grant funds from the State of Wyoming Office of the Attorney General, Division of Victim Services. And item 14A10, a contract with Southern Coast Canine, Inc. to provide 3 dual-purpose canines.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt the consent resolutions just read.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hopkins, seconded by Councilman Friel. Mr. Acting City Manager, do you have anything you'd like to address within these 10 resolutions?
Mr. Mayor, I do not.
Okay. Any abstentions or nay votes? Please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, motion passed.
Please read the consent minute action title.
Appointing Councilman Steve Cathy to the Central Wyoming Regional Water System Joint Powers Board, to the City County Hall of Justice and Detention Facility Joint Powers Board, and to the College National Finals Rodeo Board as an alternate.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent minute action agenda item just read.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Bates, seconded by Councilman Friel, I think. You're okay? Okay. Please cast your vote, and please record the vote.
I figure I ought to.
With Councilman Cathy abstaining, motion passed.
Okay. We're at the point where people can bring up items of concern or report. Let's start with Councilman Hopkins tonight.
I don't have any. Good night, thank you.
Councilman Cathy. Nothing this evening. Councilwoman Lutz.
Just really quickly, we had the monthly meeting of the Contractors Licensing and Appeals Board. And the big topic item that I took away was with the addition of the building of the new state facility over on, is it Collins? On Collins. That pushes us over, much of the previous year's construction dollars. And so just a reminder how big it is that we have that facility going into our community. And it's a big part, it's going to be a big movement going forward.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Bates.
Just a couple. One, congrats to Daniel Dundas becoming lieutenant. I wasn't here for that, but congrats to him. Saw that Cedar's Den, a comic book store that opened up in North Casper, which is good because that's investing back into Casper. So nice that a business wanted to continue here. There's another one, and I can't remember the name, and I apologize, that's Sunrise Shopping Center that actually the gal's from the Middle East, and she's making everything authentic. So she's hoping to be open in September, beginning of September, and she's going to have authentic baklava. So if you're out and about, stop by, check it out. I want to, I got to do a second round at municipal court to see what the gals there do. Got to sit into a couple of court hearings and listen in, and I am just amazed of how much time they each put into, not from the judge to the staff, that it's not about coming hard on those who committed a crime, but they look at each crime or something that took place and they try really hard to balance it out with their living style, with their lifestyle, living situations, everything. It was just really cool to hear the compassion that was there. And that goes into the code enforcement that I got to do a second round again today with the code enforcement. And from the code enforcement them going around checking people's property, just trying to keep our city look nice, making sure that they're not so much out of ordinance, but they really looked at the person's situation and where they could slam them for 5 different things. They may, can you take care of these couple of things for us? And really try to work with the community. And that was awesome to see. Our building inspector, our electrician and our guy that checks out the framework, how they don't look at it as, well, we want to make sure you're in compliance, but they looked at it as when somebody flips a house, they want to make sure that whoever buys that house and they think they got this new renovated house, it is up to code. It is right for when they take their families in to live there, that it's what they were wanting. It's what they were expecting, not, what am I thinking of? Not doing it correctly and trying to hide things. Same thing, we went to the old parkway, the Clarion, and how they wanted to make sure that all the codes were followed, not because they wanted to enforce it, but every guest that stays there and every guest family that stays there does not have to worry about a fire breaking out or flipping on a switch and it shuts other people's stuff down. They were more concerned about the people. And I gotta say, truly thank you to the municipal court and to code and that I gotta do the right law. I think the compassion that they have for people is amazing, and thank you to those guys.
Okay. Cool. Anything else this evening?
Nope.
Councilman Pacheco.
Nothing tonight.
Councilman Huber.
Nothing.
Councilman Freeland.
Nothing.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
Nothing.
Just a couple things for me. We had the Regional Water Board meeting today, and while our water sales are ahead of schedule, we also learned that the roof on the tank that at the facility is in need of replacement. So that's a unanticipated expense that's going to require some budgetary adjustments. But I think our staff will handle that. Last week I had the opportunity to meet with Congresswoman Cheney and Senator Barrasso and several, I guess you would call them DC bureaucrats who were coming out to check out Casper and learn a little bit about our community as the Opportunity Zone project is moving forward. And just as a reminder to all of you, that is a program that basically designates 4 areas in Casper as distressed zones that are now eligible for significant capital gains tax relief should funds elect to invest in those areas. And we know we have a food desert in North Casper, we have a food desert in Mills. We also need to diversify our economy, and so we're working with these agencies to try to find out what grants are available and how we can elicit some of these investment funds to come to Casper and take a look at us and possibly make some investments in our community, because we all know that if we can stabilize our economy and soften these ups and downs that we've experienced by having a more diversified economy, the people who are on the margins will have more stability in their lives, because we all know that the ups and downs hurt the poorest of our community the most. And so it's pretty exciting, and there's a lot of good things happening. It was fun to get to brag about Casper to these folks, and they were very impressed with our community and the people that they met with. And so this is a long-term play for us, but I think it's going to lead to some very significant improvements in our community. Just a reminder that our Disability Council is still active and meeting monthly. They have established their bylaws and are now learning about how to conduct meetings, but they already have a list of items that they're interested in bringing to our attention that many of us who don't struggle with disabilities may not be aware of. And so they will be coming to us at some point to help us understand some of the things that maybe we could do as a council to make our community more friendly to people with disabilities. And then I also want to comment on the fact that we did approve tonight a proposal to complete the next phase of the Platte River Restoration Project. And this is also a long-term play. And it's something that people will not know 20, 30, 40 years ago that we did because they won't know what the river would have been like if we hadn't done it. But this is an area of the river that will be completely rehabilitated along First Street there, the downtown section. And we already know that the work that we've done so far has made a significant impact on the health of that river. People are reporting increased fish counts, and it's a positive project that's allowing our native vegetation to be restored and people to have access to portions of the river that they couldn't even see before this. And we've also basically stabilized the bank along Outer Drive so we don't have to worry about the river basically taking out Outer Drive, which it would eventually have done if we hadn't done this. So it's pretty exciting to move forward with that. And I think we did some important things tonight, even though it was sort of embedded in a consent resolution. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. Oh, excuse me. The next meetings of the Casper City Council will be a work session to be held at 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 27, 2019, in the council's meeting room, and a regular council meeting to be held at 6 p.m. Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019, in the council chambers. Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Johnson, seconded by Councilman Bates. The meeting, or please cast your vote. Please record the vote.
All members voting aye, motion passed.
Meeting is adjourned. So we'll do a exec next week after the work session. Okay. I thought we were going to have that on tonight.